all these animals start to love them, start to embrace them, because I'm going to start taking it as racism. Yeah, fuck it.
I'll be racist against spiders.
You'll be what?
I'll be racist against spiders.
Okay.
Cut it there.
Welcome to The Most Venomous, the most dope wildlife panel discussion ever in history. Anything else that you've heard or seen is an imitation. Roll it up into a ball and throw it out the window. This is where it's at. We've made some changes today. Selena couldn't be here. She's gone to handle some business, some big business. Yeah. And Jamie is also missing. Jamie's on holiday with his missus. Hope they're having a good time. But Jamie spent about an hour of last night texting me, saying, "Oh, thank you." Texting me, saying, "Oh, I wish I spent all day bird watching, and now I just wish I was with you guys so we could record the episode." I'm like, Jamie, aren't you with your girlfriend?
It's also the boy who said on the first day we came here to record, "I've got no faith in this at all."
Exactly.
Now he's
hooked. Now he's hooked. So we are missing two of the panelists from last time, but we've got two very, very worthy replacements. And that is the nature of the team we're building at The Most Venomous. It's going to be different faces every time, but each face will be familiar to a certain degree, and everybody, much like the Avengers, plays their role and has their own dope storyline going on individually. Like I say, we just come back together now and again and make a dope movie. You know what I'm saying?
Are you going to reference Avengers every episode?
That is kind of our brand. We are the Avengers of the world.
Never seen it.
By Disney.
We are the Avengers of the wildlife world. I'm standing by that.
I've already checked out if you said Avengers.
So fear is in the air, guys. Fear is in the air. It's not Halloween. It's not Halloween. Almost. When this comes out, this is gonna be
Halloween.
Yeah, but still, fear is in the air. Okay, fear is in the air. And what we're here to talk about today is the top 10 animals that people fear but really shouldn't fear. And our panel, as well as some of our production crew, have made their votes. But before we get into those votes, I'm going to introduce the panel, starting from my left, going to my right. The first panelist was probably the star of the show in the first episode. Dropped the first C-bomb in The Most Venomous' history.
The most outlandish.
He is a camera operator and a researcher at Silverback Films, rather. If you don't know what Silverback is, all your David Attenborough films, all of those documentaries that you know and love about wildlife, that's the production company that makes them. So this is a very respectable person, very respectable company, regardless of what you see on The Most Venomous. The first panelist is Mr. Harry Yates.
Like an owl.
Yeah. I'm trying to...
Trying to disguise himself now.
I know. Well, this is the thing, no face, no case.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've got my mask. This is the Avengers mask.
There you go.
You don't know who it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a good point. So because fear is in the air, we've decided to go with some scary props on the tables, and everyone's made a bit of an effort to dress up as well. So do you want to talk us through your outfit a little bit, Harry?
I used to work on Springwatch, so this is like a 5 a.m. last night trying to figure out an outfit, get card, cut, stick together,
Yeah,
and I
it's
went.
fine.
You'd say again?
It's good.
Oh, thank you. Cute. It's what I'm most scared of, which most people I don't think are scared of owls.
Why are you scared of owls?
Well, it's a weird story. I was once attacked by an owl, and humped by the owl. It took advantage of me a little bit.
Oh my gosh,
there was
I'm
this.
so sorry
I
to
know,
hear
honestly,
that.
it was quite traumatic.
Really?
Yeah, this is a safe space though. Right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we had an eagle owl in our town, so it's like an owl that's not native to this country. Well, some people think it is, but it was a falconry owl. You had like a little ring on it, but this owl was so used to humans.
Into the mic.
This owl was so used to humans that sort of spring, sort of early springtime, when it would want to mate, it'd be so used to humans, it would calm down.
Careful.
Oh my God, all over the place. When this owl would want to mate, it would come down on humans and like hump you. If I can get the video, but the thing is, eagle owl, 6 foot wingspan, massive.
We're gonna
talons.
pull the video up in the background.
If I
We're
can
gonna
get
pull
the video
up.
from a friend,
Yeah.
it's not of me getting attacked, but it used to come down. It was really, once you knew it was all right and you didn't have a t-shirt on, like you're all right. But I had this one time, we're coming home from pub, already been chasing us. We got the umbrellas out, Captain America style, like shield wall, and then I was on my own on my last stretch going home, and this owl changed its hoot, going from like a ooh to a ooh, and you're like, oh my god,
Right.
I'm running. I think I can outpace this thing.
So-
Hits me on the back, I go over, talons in the face, broke my arm, madness. But scary things,
for the
you know?
kids, for all the kids watching at home, if you think you have to be super professional to work in wildlife TV, you don't. Okay, you don't. Thank you for joining us, Harry. Thank you for joining us. Pleasure to have you. Next member of the panel is wildlife TV presenter. Recently on CBBS Proms, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, CBBS Proms, doing up big things. So happy to finally have them join us as well. Missed out on the first episode. Welcome to the panel, Chantelle.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't quite have an owl story, but I'm just a skeleton.
Is that your personality or your outfit? Like, what are we talking?
It's a lifestyle. I'm just like a skeleton, you know, just been killed and murdered. Then I just saw your blood, Amol, and I was like, why didn't I do the blood?
I've got some fake blood. I don't know if you want to do some. It's very risky because it's stained.
Risky, yeah.
It's stained.
Like,
But yeah, feel free.
Next
You're more than
time.
welcome. It's over there.
thank you. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
No worries. Absolute pleasure.
Super sub.
Super sub. We got but this is the thing. No one's a sub. I don't really like sub because that's like that implies you're not a starter.
Super transfer.
Not even super
No?
transfer.
Oh,
It's
what
just
am I doing?
squad rotation. Squad rotation.
Youth
Different
academy.
formation,
Youth
yeah?
academy.
Youth,
formation.
yeah, man. Squad rotation. Everyone is equal. There's only so many places on the table. That's just how it goes. But you know, when we're a team of all stars, baby, you get me.
Hey.
So next member of the panel is a researcher in the BBC Natural History Unit, working on The Watches. If you don't know what The Watches are, it's a nature series on the BBC in the form of Spring Watch, Autumn Watch, and Winter Watch. I always wondered why they didn't do a Summer Watch, you know, to be fair. Cool, well, we can get into that. Introducing to the panel, Mel Parker.
Hello. Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I'm not actually on Spring Watch anymore.
She got fired after
Yeah,
last
I
week's
got-
episode.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm on the development team, which is really just chaos and like wonderful, throwing ideas at a wall. And
Nice.
It's amazing.
So what? So for the kids at home, what does that mean to be in development in TV?
So
Really
before,
quickly.
Yeah, before you actually get to make a TV program, you've got to pitch it to commissioners and people that make the telly. And so you've got to come
Commissioners-
up with ideas. Commissioners are like the big bosses. that, like,
Netflix.
The guys with the
Netflix.
bag.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah,
guys with the
exactly.
bag. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you've got to come up with ideas for them to get excited about, which is
And usually they're really old, really white, and they don't get it. That's that. No, I'm serious. That's what I've found. That is what I've found.
that's your actual experience.
For
I've never met a
proper,
commissioner.
yeah, proper experience. It's
Right.
real life experience. Real life experience.
I'm under NDA.
Oh, we're pulling that card this early.
All right. So welcome to the panel, Mel. Welcome to the panel. Talk us through your outfit really quickly, because it's actually very.
It's okay, so like this isn't my fit, this is just a common fit, and it's bats, and people are afraid of bats getting stuck in their hair. So I've dressed up as a very like abstract fear of getting bats stuck in your hair, but
But
I'm here to advocate.
you studied bats, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
that was my undergrad, was improving public perception of bats, which I put out in 2019 and then spent 2020 trying to be like, please, it's not their fault, COVID isn't their fault, I'm sorry.
God, yeah, they got a
That's-
step
that's
back from that, didn't they?
Important work, that really
Yeah.
is.
There you go.
But
So
Big
boom.
on bats.
Welcome to the panel, Mel. Welcome to the panel, Mel. And finally, but not leastly, on our panel, we have another debutee. Debutant, that's the word, yeah, thank you. Man said debutee, you know. Hey, yo, is what it is. I actually have met this guy. It's funny. I met this guy a couple of years ago, 3 years ago maybe, out in a rave in Hackney, and it turned out our paths had crossed in some way or another many years before. So it's just like a weird twist of fate that we've come to meet again. And he's front man of a band called Toothpaste. Go check them out. You can speak more about that.
Chuck some on the top.
Yeah, put
Definitely that will
Intro
pull them
music,
up in the
intro
background for
music.
sure. Got a background in biology, if I'm not mistaken, so it's not just a pretty face. And then also has become a walk leader at Flock Together, become a very, very valued member of our team as well, giving people a great
Big ups.
nature experience, especially with birds. Introducing to the panel, Amol.
Yo, thank you for having me. I'm going to explain my outfit first. I've come as a coked out 70s disco vampire, or as I like to call him, my average Tuesday night attire. That is literally how I dress all the time. And I also bought these from Poundland, so I'm going to give you the money shot. Because
Can we hear what you sound like with them in? Talk close to the mic.
So this is what I sound like with them in. ASMR. I know there's people out there that are going to love this. So.
You actually rock them really well.
Thank you. They're better than my actual teeth anyways. So.
There you
But yeah,
go.
thank you for having me. Super excited to be on the pod. Quickly about fears of mine. I work so closely with animals. I did like my undergrad on spiders. So I was out running around the forest in Kent collecting spiders. And I did my postgrad master's dissertation on wolves. So I'm really not scared of any animals. Having
Scared
said
of
that,
anything.
I don't
Nothing.
think so. I don't think I've got a fear of an animal, but that doesn't mean that like I would particularly love to have a spider in my hair or go out and step on a crab or something. Like, you know, just because I'm not scared of them doesn't mean I would love a negative interaction with an animal.
You can
but
be uncomfortable. without being
uncomfortable,
scared, right?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, no one wants to step on a crab. Let's be honest. It's not good for you or the crab. But
Fair.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Nice.
Happy to be on.
Excited to have you, mate. This is a very well-esteemed panel. If they are not doing their thing in the wildlife TV space, they are doing their thing in science at a master's or PhD level, okay? So we have the credentials. We are establishing ourselves as the authority in the wildlife space and changing the face of wildlife. It's going to look different to what it looked like 10 or 15 years ago, and around this table is at the forefront of that change. Like I said, anything else, scrunch it up into a ball. That shit wet. Yeah? That shit wet. Okay, with that being said, we're going to get straight into our countdown. And the way that it should have been done, is you voted for your animals based on how scared people are of them, but also how harmless they are. So in theory, the ones that are at the top, like the number 1, should be a really harmless animal, and number 10 should be like, okay, fair.
Can I just add a caveat to that?
Go
So
ahead.
when I was ranking them, I added a third dimension to this matrix.
Okay.
Because, so it's how harmless or harmful they are, how scared people are of them, but also how likely you are to come into like contact with one.
Okay.
I don't think a shark is something that most Brits are scared of, because when is a Briton ever, like a Brighton person
Yeah,
from
but-
Britain, ever going to meet
Yeah,
a
but that's so
shark?
specific
I
to
dunno.
Britain.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
just...
Do you reckon? 'Cause-
Yeah,
or like,
yeah, there's a lot of sharks around the UK, and people don't realise you're more likely to go if you go to see one.
If you
obviously.
go- yeah,
But
yeah.
There was the shark in the Thames recently.
Yeah.
Was it last year? A couple of years back? Anyway, news story: venomous shark in the Thames. yeah.
Yeah.
venomous.
It's in London. Do you know what I mean? In London,
they're
and
like
people are
this big.
freaking
They're-
out.
There you go.
And
They're just-
they're little sharks, and they do
They
have a
have
little spine.
spurs.
Or, yeah, on the back
Right.
of it. Spur dog shark.
Yeah.
And it sells
Yeah.
have a bit of venom out of it, but the media blew it out of proportion. It's such a nice story, but we've got this amazing shark coming back to a river that's not very well populated with wild.
But I think what I was saying is proximity is a factor. So like, okay, so the
100%.
shark's fear might have gotten up as this shark went into the Thames, but you know, again, that's a proximity.
Yeah, but the
thing.
proximity is only relevant to where you are, right?
We're
So-
worldwide,
Yeah, so it's-
baby.
Yeah, so because there could be someone that's watching this that lives in a shark-infested
yeah,
land.
this is true.
You get what I'm
Shark
saying?
infested.
We
Leave
could
them
have
in the water, mate. Not in the
Shark
land.
infested land.
No, but
They're
you
scary
know what I'm
sharks. If they're
talking
walking
about.
on
You
land,
know
they're
what I mean,
scary.
lad. You
I
know
hate
what
that
I
term,
mean.
by the way, shark infested, because the sharks ain't infested nothing. The sharks live there.
I will concede that. Yeah,
So half the
fair
sharks
enough.
are
But we
endangered.
could have
Exactly.
we could have a listener in South Africa that's thinking I am terrified of sharks.
But
They
then
would be valid.
so sharks might be top of their ranking. That's what I'm saying. It's all very subjective.
Okay,
when it
cool.
comes to ranking.
Cool.
That's the
Noted.
point I was trying to
Caveat
make.
noted.
Caveat.
Caveat noted. And with that, we're going to get into number 10 on our list. And this one got a vote from everybody except Jamie. And
But is that because it's a mammal? Jamie absolutely hates anything that's not a bird. Well, actually, it means you should be scared of.
Amol. Jamie and Amol didn't vote for these. Number 10 on our list is the humble wasp. Mr. Wasp. Yeah.
Pretty scary.
So if we're going to go into fear, sticking with the theme of fear, I've got a story for us, yeah?
Okay.
So in 2017, there was an 87-year-old woman, yeah, being taken out for a walk with her carer in Japan somewhere. And all of a sudden, she got attacked by this swarm of Asian giant hornets, right? Which is like in the family of wasps, right? And they attacked her for 50 minutes straight. 50. 50. The emergency services came to help her out, but all they could do is watch. They didn't even want to get close because it was so dangerous. Eventually, the attack subsided. They took her to the hospital, and she died the next morning.
Hornets, the sting hurts.
Yeah.
And then you die.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me
So-
put some flowers down for her.
Yeah. I mean, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Cheiko Kikuchi was her name. Upstairs now, so rest in peace. Rest in peace. But yeah, wasps, guys.
I once had a story, but I like wasps. It's scary, obviously. I was doing some filming and we needed to transfer wasps from one place to another. I can't really talk about too much about exactly what we were filming, but
Why not?
we had to transfer. It's under NDA. It's not been out yet.
Bro, I don't like this NDA talking TV people, bro.
I'll tell you next year when we're still going.
Okay,
But it's not part of the story really. But I had to take wasps from people's houses. They wanted to exterminate them. We were like, nah, it's all right. We'll take them away. We'll take them out until we want to film them. Bam. So transferring this wasp. Got pulled over by the police, yeah? I wasn't, no face, no case, wasn't doing anything I shouldn't have been. We might be driving a little bit too quickly. Pulled over by the police. I had a big box next to me with these wasps in. What's in the box or whatever. Like, as soon as I told him, it's a box of wasps, you know? He didn't want anything to do with it. So if you ever have anything in your car that you don't want the police to look at, tell them it's a box of wasps.
So all the shutters there on the road. Yeah.
It's a box of wasps.
That doesn't hold up in court, just FYI.
You didn't want to look, do you know what I mean?
Oh, nice. Has anyone ever been stung by a wasp?
I don't think so, you know.
It's not awful, you know. I think it's a lot of when you get stung as a kid, you know what I mean? It's exaggerated pain, and then a lot of people remember that as there, and then I got stung again recently, and it's not that bad. It was like 20 minutes.
I'm actually
a bit pain,
mad
a bit
shook
sore.
because I've never been stung.
That's
So
it.
The idea of it is terrifying to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a lot of this stuff is the idea of it rather than the actual occurrence. But
That's the same with any phobia though, and I think a lot of the things here, I'm gonna be that dick that just says, well, they're not actually that scary.
No, that's fine.
That's
But-
though, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like you can't control
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. It's internal, but yeah, wasps in particular, I don't think I voted for them over bees because on that harmless / people are scared of matrix, I think people are rightfully scared of them and they are harmful. They can be harmful. So a wasp sting is very painful. And it can be lethal if you're allergic to that kind of thing. So I think people are justified to be scared of them, which is why I didn't even put them on the list.
I feel like it's so hard though when you've got like a massive clade like wasps. Like there's so many of them, and most a load of them don't sting, or loads of them are solitary, so they never really
do you know
do
what
it.
it is? I love the way you speak here, but you're such a scientist. What's a clade? Break it down for us.
So it's just like
saying?
it's just like a group of animals. So like a category, and so you've got like wasps that create like growths on tree leaves, and you've got wasps that parasitize the wasps that live in those growths on trees. Like they're not harming humans. Like you wouldn't even recognize them as a wasp. Like they're just super interesting little creatures, and obviously when we think of wasps, like we think of like yellow, black stripe at your picnic trying to fly in your face, but
I could be wrong here, so please correct me. Is that Hymenoptera? Are those wasps?
So yes, they're in
Yeah.
that category, but that also includes like ants,
Ants and stuff as
bees.
well. Yeah.
There you go.
What was wasps? Do you remember?
Oh, might begin with
There
V.
was-
Vespidae. I want to say
Yeah.
Vespidae or something.
Something like that.
Vespidae.
I know
Yeah.
there's the species of wasp, the jewel wasps
Yeah.
that will find like a caterpillar or some kind of grub, literally sting it to shit until it's like paralyzed. Lay their eggs inside it, and then when the eggs hatch, they have a meal ready for them. Shout out wasps, they're good mums.
They
Great
control,
mums.
They're actually good mums.
and they're like the larvae can control the actions of the caterpillar, so that the caterpillar will like fight off birds that try and eat it,
That's
and
mad.
like,
Can you imagine?
yeah,
Mad.
Zombie.
it's like a zombie thing, like it's so
Zombified.
oh
No, shout out parasitoid.
yeah, parasitoid wasps. Is
Parasitoid
like
wasps.
a rabbit
Shout
hole
out.
that you can fall down.
Very
It's
cool
amazing.
They are annoying though. Like
No, they
we
are.
can hype them up, but we like, and yeah, it might be your basic bitch wasps giving all the rest of the other wasps a bad name, but come on, they're annoying.
They
Like,
are.
annoying.
You've got 20 of them, like you're trying to eat your food and you have to move, and like
Yeah.
they're not a good animal, really, are they?
No, they are.
The basic
they
bitch
are.
ones. We'll let the parasites.
They are. Right, cool. Wasps. That was a good bit on wasps. Number 9 on our list. I feel like everybody watching would expect this one to appear on the list, to be fair. It's the rat.
Oh, okay.
It is the rat at number 9.
I like rats.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why do you like rats?
I've never really come into like bad contact with them, and they dispose of bombs, don't they?
What?
What?
What is man talking about?
You don't know this?
No?
They use them because they're light enough to not set off a bomb, but they can smell out like the gunpowder and stuff. So in war zones, when they want to like this, they send out rats. They have trained army of rats. Yeah. Mines, they dispose of them. It's not like they're cutting wires or anything.
So you're a researcher. You need to fact check this, bro.
No, 100%.
Yeah?
I'd say 100% is factually accurate now that they use rats in war-torn areas that are finished to dispose of the mines. 100%.
Okay,
They're great.
fair.
Have you
play.
seen that film Wanted?
No.
Okay, it's got James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie, Morgan Freeman. Great film. It's like a comic book adaptation, but spoiler alert, the end of the film ends with them trying to blow up this whole like fraternity of assassins. And the way they do it is by strapping bombs to rats.
Oh, you see, they
and
can,
like
they
putting
can be the
peanut
bombs
butter.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. They can be bombs. So they work both ways
According
in the
to
bomb
this
world.
Hollywood movie,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can be
yeah.
bombs as well. I rate it.
No, we'll bring up news story there. Rats
Yeah,
dispose
we'll
bombs.
find it. If
I
it
promise.
exists,
I
if the
promise.
story exists, we'll
Otherwise,
have
I'm
it there.
right in the news.
100%. But I mean, like with rats, I guess, like we said at the beginning, the ones nearer the end, like at this side of the list, they are legit dangerous, right?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
embedded in our psyche as human beings, you've got the plague, right? That's
Disease,
disease and vermin and all of this kind of stuff. So I guess to that capacity, it's fair enough that people are scared of them.
This was a torture method, right? And I don't know how
Oh,
much
come
fact
on.
there
This is what I
was.
wanna hear.
If you've heard of this, then you'll
Fear
know.
is in the air.
Fear is in the
Game of
air.
Thrones.
It's not like you wish it was Game of Thrones because this was actually a medieval torture method, and the medieval bit might be wrong, so please feel free to fact check me there. But what they do is put a big rat, a hungry rat, on your chest, your bare chest, under a tin or a jar. So it'll be there on your chest. That alone, fine, harmless. It's not going to do anything. And then they put a flame or a torch to the top of the jar. So one end is really, really hot. And as the jar becomes hotter and hotter and hotter, the rat's only got one way to go.
That's a mad thing.
That's definitely
Wow.
happened on Game of Thrones.
Has it?
Is that where you got
Okay.
it from?
Fact check.
Fact check.
Citation needed.
Finish that.
But yeah, so it's only got one way to go. So it will eat its way out through your body. And rats are very, very, very resourceful animals.
Could
they
a
can
rat
survive.
get through your like?
100%.
They can chew through metal.
They can chew through metal. They can chew through anything. So yeah, rats. I love rats.
Damn, that is...
Go rats.
That's a very specific situation to be afraid of rats in.
Yeah.
It is, to be fair.
People have rats as pets, don't they?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Like,
Apparently
and
they're really,
they're
They're
really
really good
social,
pets.
really lovely animals. So like, why are the street rats different to our pet rats?
They're really
Like,
intelligent. And then let's talk ecology. They provide a food source for so many species, like small canines, felines, birds, frogs.
Yeah,
even,
I've
you know?
seen a seagull eat a rat before.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, they provide a good, and not to mention science as well. How many scientific advances have been made
through rats,
because rats are so genetically similar to us?
Shout out all the rats that died from
Yeah.
medical testing.
Yeah,
by
That's
the
the
way.
same
like
thing,
pouring
all
out
the
a bit of
testing.
drink for them.
Pour one out for the homies.
Pour up the henny. We're pouring up the symbolic
those
henny
fallen
for
rats.
the fallen rats.
Just really quickly, I was getting a tattoo once, all the way in North London, and the person tattooing me in her house had 2 pet rats. So there was a general kind of anxiety about being in North, but then there was also the fact that
In the north.
North
I
London.
don't know London.
North London.
North with 2 F's. North London.
Yeah.
But then also there were just these 2 rats running around the house, and because they were pet rats, and she was like, "Yeah, they're fine, they're my
I'll just put a
rats."
tin over it on you, and then it'll be alright. Just don't know where to go.
That is the tattoo.
Yeah, that is a tattoo. Yeah, but yeah, it was. They were very cute because afterwards I got to hold them, but before that there was that general sense of anxiety that they'd be running up my trousers and everything. But they were cool. Shout out those rats.
Shout out them rats, man. Shout out them rats. And shout out all the fallen rats in the name of science, and shout out anyone that was tortured by having a rat chew through their chest.
Right.
Cool. Next on our list. Again, I think this is one we could all expect to have seen on this list. Number 8 on our list of animals that people are scared of but shouldn't be is snakes. Ooh.
Well, this is going back to your point on
Hold on, wait. Why did we all just do that bit?
on the most venomous.
It's a good soundbite.
Oh,
it's
it's
a
the
good
most
soundbite.
eyes. I'm down. I like that, guys. I like that. Continue, Harry. Sorry, go on.
Just going back to the proximity thing, in the UK, people should not be scared of snakes at all, and it's quite bad. Our adder population.
We all come from Africa, Harry.
And,
We all come from Africa.
yeah. But right now, you don't have snakes running around your feet.
Yeah,
But if you're in Australia, obviously
Yeah.
you've got something to be scared of. If you get bitten, you can't.
You
go to
can't take
hospital
a
in time.
shit in Australia without that.
Yeah, car doors, spiders running out, snakes everywhere. But here, you got nothing to be scared of. And people, my local spot for adders, so the UK's only venomous snake, is a cemetery. And in the last 4 years, the population's just gone, and it's because every year somebody comes around and just whacks them with a stick.
What?
And they think they caught the person, and it's basically a dog walker. They don't like the snakes are near their dogs.
Dog walkers are brutal.
Because basically the dogs run into the brush, obviously. Adder bites it, bam, but this woman beating these snakes, completely decimated the population
way.
there.
What the hell?
And so people are scared of them, but the problem is it's not going to kill you. 90% likely it's not going to kill you. We've got antivenom. You'll find it just swells up a bit. You're absolutely calm, and most likely your dog's going to be all right too. So why are people scared? We were again on another shoot, and we had adders all up our legs, just crawling around you. My colleague had one go inside his shorts, and that was a freeze moment where you're like, okay, this is.
I mean, I hear you. It can't kill you, but I don't want it.
Literal trouser snake.
Yeah.
I was gonna make that joke, but I didn't want to go there. I'm glad you went there.
But nothing happens. If you remain calm, you're fine. So UK, I think people should not be scared of them at all. But
I mean,
abroad.
So I hear you, and I think you've made a good point because globally there are about 3,000 species, or just over 3,000 species of snake, and only 200 of them, that's about 7%, are actually can cause serious harm to human beings. So really, even on a global level, there's not that much to be scared of, really, to be honest.
I suppose it's the unexpectedness of them, because if, like you say, we don't expect to have them in the UK, so if you came across one, that'd be quite scary. You'd be like...
But then once it ran over your leg and you were like, oh,
yeah, true.
mind you, you might be kicking it on a
Literally, you might be doing clobbering it like that lady.
That was an episode of The Simpsons, by the way, just so you know, where they go and kill all the snakes.
Kill all the
Oh,
snakes.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
The media sensationalizing everything.
Yeah. Just on your point, Chantelle, I think, again, that's a really important thing. On the fear of any animal or any phobia, I think with animals particularly, it's the unexpectedness. If you were going to a zoo to see a spider behind the screen, I don't think people would be scared of it because you know what you're going to get. But if, you were just walking along and one just fell in your hair, or one just got on your arm, it's the fact that you were not expecting it to be there.
Yeah.
That's the shock. And then that obviously turns to fear.
I think that's a great point, and I think it's rooted in some of the notes Jamie sent over as well. He said, I really think the crux of a lot of these fears is that people are disconnected from nature. So it's like if you are actually exposing yourself to these environments where these animals exist and you're aware, you're not going to be so surprised and have that shock factor, you know?
That's
so,
true.
yeah, it's a very fair point. One last thing on snakes, I found this out recently. So they have... It's penises, yeah?
Barbs.
We're going there.
Like the barbs.
So they've got something called a hemipene, I think it's called, or semipene, one of those things. Effectively 2 penises, right? That like latches onto the female, yeah? And do you know where that comes from? It used to be their legs.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
and over years...
Is this all snakes?
Yeah, all snakes, or most snakes at least. And it's like, it used to be their legs. And our penis, do you know why it's like relatively so big compared to other primates?
Are you saying you've got a third leg? Is that what you're saying?
Our penis is relatively so big compared to other primates because it used to be our tail.
I
I
don't know.
I
Yeah.
want to. You're
What
calling.
did the snakes have before?
Legs.
Yeah, but then where was the penis?
Yeah, because they would have had to have a reproductive thing there.
So it was probably like this tiny little thing.
Like, okay.
I'll have a fact
I
check
don't
on
know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to fact
that
check
one
on
I
that.
don't know.
I'm
So-
gonna
so-
fact
so-
check.
I feel like there's
Okay.
that.
So I can't answer the question you asked
Right.
about what it was before,
Right.
but that is a fact. I got it from a guy called Dylan, the biologist, who has a PhD according to Instagram.
I wouldn't
Say
trust
the
that.
PhD.
I wouldn't trust that. I could go on Instagram and say I've got a PhD.
Well, bro, fact check it. I wouldn't say it if I wasn't like 90% sure that it's
Our
true, at least,
coccyx is vestigial for our tails, but that was just for the bone. But we had like apes and all sorts of other primates have penises too, and
But
they
they're so
also have
small.
tails.
Yeah, but
I don't think the tail became a penis.
No, I think it's to do with the way that humans have sex, and it's to do with like the shape of the penis and like the size of it. It's to do with sperm removal.
What?
Yeah, it's like that. If you
Okay,
have
yeah,
a
we got
head,
the bucket, yeah, the head.
it
So when
pulls out.
You're getting other man's
Yeah.
out before you go in.
Right.
By the way, I know it's not on topic, but we need to have a whole podcast
On
episode
penis.
on
Please.
penises.
On
That's
penis.
so
Is
much
that-
is that where we're
So
going?
what's the genitalia? And
Yeah.
Is that where we're
Genitalia.
going?
Yeah.
Genitalia.
Genitalia.
Balance it
Let's
out.
be
Balance it out.
equal,
Yeah,
yeah.
balance it out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, guys. We'll move on from that.
Yeah, and then
All right. So, moving on from reptilian genitalia,
which we're still calling bullshit on.
which do you know what?
I'm going to call you out. So, with just very quickly, with
Go.
the human tail penis thing, what I think you might have been talking about, not to, well, actually you, but so humans over evolution did lose the bones in their penis, but I don't think their tails became their penis. So that might have been it. But I don't think...
You don't sound very sure to me.
A quick Google check
Yeah.
tells me that I can be very sure.
Okay,
of this,
okay.
But yeah, we can take this to court.
We'll take this to court.
Like this.
We'll take this to episode 3. We'll take this to episode 3. So, number 7 on our list is another one I think we'd expect to see again, or maybe not. It's cockroaches. Cockroaches. Takes me to Men in Black. It takes me to Men in Black. And I feel like movies have a big role to play in all this fear mongering.
Typically, yes, but not with cockroaches. I think every human is born with an innate fear. I think, similar to spiders, it's just the sort of scuttling.
Scuttle.
It's
The
like it's how
movement, innit?
unpredictable, and the cockroaches are quick.
Yeah.
Like they fly across the ground, and I think when you see that coming towards you, especially myriapoda, things with many legs, typically for centipedes and millipedes, but cockroaches, just the scuttling of many legs towards you. Oh, that's the one thing that, okay, maybe not scared of, but I really don't like cockroaches.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, do you want to go?
I was going to say that there's so many things about them, isn't there? Like, if you kill them, then they come back alive or something. Like, I've heard loads.
The zombie
Or that they come
cockroaches.
to collect their dead and things like that.
Yeah,
and
so that is actually true. So
go.
so if they're killed, they release a chemical that sends a signal to other cockroaches around that that's food. So they will actually
I thought it was like, oh, we've come to bury it.
Yeah.
Eat my brother.
There you go.
I've been waiting for this.
But they're associated with being quite dirty, aren't they? I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the association. But aren't they meant to be like one of the cleanest animals ever?
So-
Like if you touch a cockroach, the first thing it does is scuttle away, clean itself. So they do have a wrong association.
Yeah, but that's I think the ironic thing about that, it's a good point you touch on. So like when we've spoken about rats and cockroaches and these things that are thought to be dirty, and I'm sure some more on the list will fall into that category as well. It's not dirty. It's only dirty because they actually find a use for our waste. So we're actually the dirty animal, right?
They're detritivores, aren't they? They eat like detritus and waste.
So you're going in with the terms.
Something has stuck, which is good.
Yes, yes.
Over the 4 years, it's paid off.
There you go.
Detritus is just in this case, it's organic waste. So they eat sort of the waste of animals. They eat dead like leaves. They just basically clean up. They are really good for like looking after the ecosystem,
which we need like massively.
Absolutely.
If we didn't have them, and I don't think this species is going to come in, so I'll talk about it quickly. But vultures, for example, is a bird that they eat rotting meat and they're associated with death and all this horrible stuff. However, they stop the spread of rabies, tuberculosis, all these diseases. If you didn't have them there, we'd have cleaning up. We'd have so many worse diseases. So realistically, these animals are really helping us.
So conspiracy theory time. So it's like if we actually let cockroaches and rats run rampant without controlling them, they would actually put garbage men out of business. What is a conspiracy? What? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
That's a lot.
No, okay, fine.
That's a lot of cockroaches, isn't it?
I mean, there's a lot of cockroaches though.
Yeah.
If you want to hate on local council people doing their job, you don't have to call them rats and cockroaches, okay?
We can move on from that. Cool. So, cool. Cockroaches, worthy number 7. Number 6 on our list, I think will be a little bit of a surprising one, maybe. Poster child for conservation and saving the planet. It's the humble bumblebee.
Bumblebee?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say pandas there. Who's scared of pandas?
No, it's the bee. Bees are number 6.
Yeah, people are scared of them, aren't they?
Why?
But
What
why
is
is
that?
wasps lower?
Because wasps are more dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And I also think it comes down to the fact that it's like save the bees. Our bees are so good for us. They're going to save the planet. They're vital to it. And I think we've got this like almost romanticized idea of a bee. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Bee movie, that was good.
There you go.
Bee propaganda.
There you go. I feel like Extinction Rebellion loves bees. Do you get what I'm saying?
Everyone loves bees.
No, I mean,
I love bees.
It's going back to your point, what you said earlier, Harry, because I think bees are good, but like you don't want them around your picnic.
Yeah.
Like if you're eating food, you don't want a bee just there.
But is it bumbles that don't actually sting? Isn't there one bee that we have commonly which doesn't actually sting?
I think it might be the
bumblebees
bumblebee.
do, but I think is it only the females or something like that, and they're very reluctant because obviously when they sting,
They die.
their abdomens get ripped out.
Yeah.
So
It's just a buzz, maybe? Like the buzz in your ear.
That's
like that is
horrible.
annoying.
Yeah.
That will make
That
you
is
freak.
like kind of a universal
Yeah.
biological cue to like stay away from me.
It's like
right?
Nadeem
Like,
speak.
yeah, pardon?
Nothing. Just
What did
say-
you say?
Deep speak.
Isn't
What
it
is
like
this?
hearing Nadeem speak?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Burn.
There's again a media thing, but like you do have like instances of things getting lodged in people's ears. So I think flying insects like bees and wasps that come in close proximity to your ears, those are things that like immediately you're like, I can see myself ending up on like a horrible YouTube channel, 10 worst deaths or something by death by bee in my ear. So
And it's Black Mirror.
Mosquitoes.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah, that was horrible.
Mosquitoes, that noise that they make
Oh.
is just horrible. Like, just coming at you, just like.
I hate that.
There's a really cool thing that I'm going to circle back to bats, not that.
Here we go.
But there is a species of bat that mimics the sound of bees and wasps' nests. This is the mouse-eared bat that we have. Well, we have one of in the UK. Literally one bat. But they in their colonies, if they hear an owl approaching, they will make this like buzzing noise that sounds like a hornet's nest or a bee's nest, and the owls will fly off. Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool. Talking about that as well as like mimicking is you know an animal's scary when other animals mimic it. It's the same with wasps. The colour, it's yellow, black, again, any red. All these. If you're mimicking an animal, you know it's scary.
There you go. And yeah, according to the CDC in the United States,
Who are the CDC?
that's the Centers for Disease Control. Bees are the animal that's responsible for the highest amount of deaths in the United States.
What?
90 to 100 people every year are killed by bee attacks.
Is
in the
that
United
Is that
States.
from
allergies?
allergies?
From allergies, and they actually think that that's quite a conservative number because they feel like a lot of people that die of heart attacks and sunstrokes are actually attributed to bee attacks as well.
Oh, that's not helping their case, that statistic.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like I don't like this romanticization of animals. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, yes, we love bees, but it's like respect them because they can fuck you up. You get what I'm saying?
pretty
Yeah,
much.
and also you shouldn't need to be not afraid of something to want to save it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. So,
Fuck pandas. Replace them with bees.
right, moving on. This one was a bit of a funny one because people voted for this animal according to like they voted for many different species under this umbrella. So our number 5 is actually birds. And we had votes, but we had votes in the forms of gulls, pigeons, buzzards, and kites.
Did Jamie vote for any birds?
Of course, Jamie.
Yeah, of course he did. He just
Yeah.
wanted to get birds on the podcast. That's it. That's literally why. A man who hates mammals.
But yeah, I pulled all those votes together and just called it birds. And again, this was like really the main one that Jamie said he reckons it's because of people's disconnection to nature. And the example he used was like pigeons. When you see people walking down the road, they're going to like avoid pigeons as if the pigeon can do anything to them. So I think that's a bit of a strange
Have you
one.
seen London pigeons? Those pigeons are brave.
Yeah.
Those pigeons are brave. They will.
with no shame.
No shame. And
Caress the cheek. You know,
they'll come and take your coffee. They'll come and take your croissant. They will take everything.
Yeah.
London pigeons.
But it is a funny one because I speak with lots of people and they are scared of birds. And it's probably in a similar way to the scuttling of the spiders and the cockroaches. It's the flapping of the wings that people don't like.
Yeah.
You know, it just panics people.
But why are we scared of something coming near us, like nowadays?
I don't know,
It's
Jamie.
ridiculous.
Why are people scared of things that are different, Jamie?
I'm not Jamie.
Not Jamie, Harry.
No face, no
Is this
case.
man-
You know what I mean?
Addressing Jamie
Who
from
even
beyond
are
the
you?
Yeah, exactly,
Put down the camera and ask
exactly.
Jamie. It would be responsive.
But it
I
is.
don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I think it's that foreign movement. I think it's just like non-mammalian movement
Yeah.
just freaks us out. Do you know what I'm saying?
I came down one morning. This was like last month or the month before. You know, like 8:30 a.m. Not awake yet. Not ready to face the day. Came in my living room and I was just like stunned because there were 2 sparrows just flying around in the living room. I didn't know what to do. Like one came near me and I was just like taking a step back. Like this is not normal. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was strange. But then we realized that there was an open window and they must have just like thought they looked juvenile. They were young birds. So they were just flapping about. And it was one of those where like, I want to get you back out, but also I don't want to disturb you. So I think that fear can kind of go one of 2 ways. Like, it would be so easy to just like pick up a spider like this and put it out. Why don't we do it? Because we don't want to touch it. We don't want to like this, you know, unnatural to us movement. We don't want to like get close to it. There's just something in our brain. So eventually, like, we caught one flew out. And then we caught the other one, and then we were holding it, and it was just so small and soft. As a bird is, they are harmless. But yeah, it was just the flapping around that was causing a lot of stress.
There you go. There you go.
For 8:30 on a like Wednesday morning,
There
it was
you go.
yeah.
It's strange because people put their hands on much nastier things than birds.
What are you putting your hands on?
I'm just saying. We do, right? Why are you scared of birds?
Well, it's interesting because you obviously run Flock Together, which is mainly about birds, getting people out into nature, but also getting them, you know, birds is your centre. Like, have you ever actually thought, I need to get people not afraid of these things first?
Yeah, definitely. So like most people we come across are not afraid of them, right? Like most people are just happy to see a bird through binoculars and come up closer to it. But we are working on something with Jamie himself on tackling exactly that. People's
Getting them in the hands.
fear. Yeah, exactly,
Nice.
exactly.
I feel like they're so delicate as well. Like you don't like with spiders. Like I'm not a huge fan of spiders, but like I don't like touching them, like, especially the teeny tiny little ones. I'm like, I don't want to pick you up because I don't want to squish you. Like, I don't want to do that to a bird either. Pretty robust.
Strong
but,
hands.
like, yeah.
But no, I mean,
but also, yeah, like if you don't know how to handle something, like it's sort of this fear of doing something.
It was
true.
It was exactly the same with the fly. So there was a fly literally 2 days ago in our bedroom that just would not leave. And, you know, we tried sort of putting it, like swatting it with like a paper and everything. Sorry, nature. But yeah, it had to be done because it was there.
I smoke flies all the time.
Wow.
Smoke them.
I think I'd
I'd
stunned it right with the paper and it was just on the wall. So I was like, let me just like, it was a big fly. I was like, what I said a moment ago, let me just put my hand over it and take it out. But then I put my hand over it and my skin just turned inside out because it just was fluttering and it was like furry and it was a big fly. And it just made me really uncomfortable to have that sensation of something going in my hand. So yeah, I think exactly what you said. You don't want to harm the thing. But yeah, it's just an unnatural
You don't want to
feeling.
harm it, but you still swat it, yeah? I don't want to harm you, so I'm gonna do you in.
To round off birds are beautiful. Birds are amazing. If you're scared of them, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Shout out flock. That's what we talk about
There we go,
in all
baby.
our walks.
There we go. There we go. So that moves us nicely on to number 4 of top 10 animals that people are scared of but shouldn't be. And I feel like this one is surprisingly high on the list, to be fair, because this can fuck you up, this animal. Number 4 is the shark. It is the shark.
So we touched on this at the start, didn't we? About like the most a venomous shark in the Thames. But again, we don't have loads in the UK, and they're not that. There are only a few species, I guess, and they're not that dangerous. A lot of our species, but I think it's a big media sensationalizing of it, like Jaws. Do you know what I mean? That whole like kind of vibe and.
Sharknado.
A good example. But a good example of this is the first shark bite in the UK was, I think, this year, 2022.
Wow.
No, well, I say first shark bite in 175 years.
Wow, okay.
Whoa.
And media was like, shark bite in the UK, like, oh my God, da, da, da. And every newspaper, every news channel was talking about like shark bite. This nobody mentioned. The girl who got bitten came out and said, don't stress, and like said all this stuff. Like she'd gone out to swim with them. They were blue sharks, and she was snorkeling with them, and it was just, it happens. You're in their world, but it's 175 years. That's a long time in between a bite, and obviously we don't have loads in the UK, but it's such a media thing. They're chill. They're
100%.
calm, doing their thing.
There are
100%.
plenty of other things in the ocean you should be scared of.
Yeah.
Sharks, I don't think are one of them.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, 375 species of shark exist today.
You count them all.
I counted them all, personally. 12 are considered dangerous to humans.
Okay.
12. So it's like, again, not a very, very big percentage that people are scared of. I think it is a lot of media propaganda. But I mean, if you do, I get what you're saying at the beginning, Amol, because it's unlikely that you will come across a shark unless you're in a very specific location around the world. But if you do come across...
But there's measures for that.
It's gonna smoke you.
You
know?
mentioned Nadeem, South Africa at the start. Unlike a lot of animals on this list, a shark's not going to attack you if you're just sat in your house. Like
You're in their world.
You're in there. If you're going to go out to surf or go down to swim, like miles and miles off the coast, not even in the shallows, you can expect to come across a shark.
Yeah,
so I think people should go into that with that kind of thing. It's exactly what you said, Mel. Respect nature, and then you'll be all right.
I would be curious. Now you've said that, I'm curious to know how many black people have ever been bitten by a shark.
Small. I think the answer will be minimal. I
swear that we don't be on the water surface, bro.
There you go.
For real.
There are
Honestly,
things where
dive with that.
people have filmed with sharks, with great whites, and they have filmed without cages, but they've just been doing it by understanding shark body language and like the way that they're holding their fins, like whether they feel comfortable in water, and they've got out as soon as it's kind of looked like it could potentially start going south or the shark doesn't feel comfortable. Like there is more and more understanding of like how these animals behave, and that it takes out that unpredictability, that like scare factor of where, you know, sharks are just vicious killers and they'll hop in and, you know, feeding frenzy and that sort of thing. Like if you want to film them acting naturally outside of those moments, like you've got to understand their behaviour, and like that's.
I think as well as not talking for all shark sort of seeing trips, but a lot of them, when they do put you in cages, you've paid for a tourist experience, so they want to get the sharks there. So they chum the water, and chumming is just chucking in like fish guts, blood. So they're getting, if you're chucking in blood and the food of this like vicious predator, of course it's going to be riled up and think there's food around, and then there's going to be more attacks. So almost like by us trying to see them, we're making them more vicious. Imagine getting into a pool of blood with a shark. Like,
exactly.
No wonder you're going to be scared.
It's kind of like being like, oh, you know, this is how 3-year-olds act, and being like filling a room with like cake and candy and being like, all right, this is exactly how children act all the time, like all this, and just letting all these kids go mental on sugar. You know, it's not the same thing.
That brings us nicely on. We're going into the business end of the list now. The top three. Top three.
Champions League spots.
This is Champions League spots. Champions League of the fear factor. Number 3 on the Most Venomous's top 10 list of animals that people are scared of but shouldn't be is spiders.
Expected.
I've been advocating like nearly every animal, but I hate spiders.
Is it?
There's nothing about them. I'm more inclined to big spiders. Like if you give me a tarantula, they move slow. It's that whole movement thing. They move slow, but I've got nothing good to say about most spiders at all.
Really?
So I'm gonna be. I hate them.
Wow.
That's a strong statement.
Yeah, Harry,
Very
I'm
strong
quite
statement.
surprised. You know? I'm actually quite surprised.
Honestly, I don't know.
You strike me as like a fearless dude.
Wow, no face, no case.
Yeah, fair play, fair play.
Most I've got a reason. It's the scuttle. It's the movement. I'm sure if I put it in if somebody forced me, held me down, put it in my hand, I might be able to get rid of fear because you realise there's nothing about it. Like my housemate would pick him up with his hand. I don't know how you do it.
I do. I used to keep them in boxes as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, and like feed them. Yeah, I used to catch grasshoppers and feed them grasshoppers.
Wow, that's a skill.
Yeah. It was a real skill.
So for my undergrad dissertation research project, I was, I think I mentioned at the start, I was out collecting spiders. We were looking at sort of their morphs, their body sizes based on distance to water. So, you had to go and collect a few to analyze them. And the spiders we were expecting to see were the ones we caught typically. So smallish ones, a few different species. That was fine. I was happy to go and catch them, sort of sort them, put them in a bag. And then we were just taking a little break. And then the person I was with, who I was doing the project with, they were like, "Don't move." And I was like, "What?" And "Don't move." I was like, "Why?" And then they just pointed at my leg. And of all the spiders we'd seen, which were about, a few centimeters big, not very big at all, there was a huge green huntsman spider, and look them up. They are terrifying, and I was not expecting to see one. And
We're gonna pull one up.
Yeah, pull one up. But we were walking through a lot of undergrowth, a lot of bush, and one had just latched onto my leg. And so, I wasn't scared of spiders typically, but then in that moment, my mind just went into primal mode, and it was like, ah! I was screaming, dashed the spider away. It probably would have been good for research, but I just dashed it away. And then I ran for a bit, but it was...
Ran a 3-mile jog and then went, yeah, right.
Yeah, just to put distance between myself and my assailant. It was a big spider, and I just wasn't expecting it. So again, because I was expecting to see X spider, and that was fine. But when I saw Y spider without expecting it, it just threw me off. So again, I think going back to the theme of something being there that shouldn't be there in your mind. But yeah, spiders.
I feel like people should buy, when people buy cuddly bears for their kids and stuff. I feel like, why not spiders?
Like this one.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Got one. Poundland's finest.
Just give your kid a
Lovely
spider,
spider.
and I'm sure that will solve a lot of these issues, a lot of these fears.
Definitely.
But that's a good point though, because a lot of these fears are rooted in how you've grown up. Your parents are scared of them. I've seen it so many times, and I've seen parents being like, "Oh, I don't want to be I don't want to show that I'm scared, but I'm actually fucking scared." And you can see the children, they take it on. So
100%.
I used to be scared of dogs, which is a really weird one because dogs are really calm. But my mum
you just
hates dogs.
You just turned into one as you grew up.
I was going to save that for if dogs were on the list, but let's keep it a mystery.
Yeah.
But I might, if they're not on the list, I'll do an honourable mention segment on dogs if we've got time.
But I think it comes. My mum she doesn't like dogs, and that gets transferred down for sure, 100%. When they react, and you're a kid, and then you grow up with it. And then you realise they're absolutely fine.
I decided to be afraid of spiders when
What?
when I was 8. I was coming back from a ballet class and I was like, everyone was talking about how scared they were of spiders, and I felt really weird because like I was
Social pressure.
Yeah, like genuinely, I was like, oh, that's really weird. And so like the next like few weeks at school, like everyone would see spiders, and I'd be like, spiders. And now I'm scared of spiders, and I'm like, I don't want to be. Like I wasn't. Like you have to like startle response and everything.
Reverse that. I've never heard anyone voluntarily sign up to a phobia.
I don't know. You can
That's
just pick
wild.
them up, do whatever.
Yeah, fair.
Quick pointer on how influence, like, you know, a lot of phobias are genetic, they say, but like I think most of them are acquired. I would say that they're
100%.
picked up off your family, of people.
Yeah.
Exactly what you were saying.
My
If your
mum-
mum's scared of dogs.
My mum is really scared of spiders, like seriously scared of spiders. Like I made her cry once when I had one in a box. I was like 10, and I went, "Mum, look at this," and she just literally broke down into tears. But it comes down to like, she grew up in Sri Lanka, so all our uncles, they're quite toxic, my family. Like Sri Lankans are quite toxic. But it's funny as well. So because they knew she was scared of them, they would just pick up these massive spiders and chase her around the house with these spiders.
That's good. That's good.
It's not funny, guys. That's bullying.
That's brilliant.
Do not do that. But I feel like, it is an acquired fear.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
again, I don't think yes, spiders are venomous, but 43,000 different species of spiders. Less than 30 are harmful to human beings. That's less than a tenth of a percent. So, like, what are we scared of, really?
Scuttle.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Scuttle.
So basically what you're saying, unless you live in Australia, chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
it's fine.
100%. And you know what? Shall I take it there?
Take it there.
I'm gonna take it
Take it
I'm
there.
gonna
Most
there.
venomous. Most
You see,
venomous.
people like to brand a whole people and a whole species based on small. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? Based on a small fraction. Stop this propaganda. Stop this propaganda. All these animals, start to love them, start to embrace them, because I'm going to start taking it as racism. Yeah, fuck it.
I'll be racist against spiders.
You'll be what?
I'll be racist against spiders.
Okay.
Cut it there.
Cut that
Harry is done. Harry is done.
Cancel.
Harry is done.
Never working again. Fuck a spider.
Harry, it's no longer a safe space, mate. Thanks to you, it's no longer a safe space.
No face, no case. And fuck a spider.
Fuck it, what did you say? Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
Oh, God.
That brings us nicely to number 2 on our list, which is bats. It's bats. Mel, I feel like this is your time to shine.
Again, it's just a ratio thing. Like 1,500 species of bats. Everyone freaks out about drinking blood and all that. There's 3 species that drink blood. 2 of those drink bird blood. So they're not a threat. There's
That's
just one.
mad.
Yeah, and the only reason that the vampire bats have proliferated the way that they have and that end up interacting with humans is because we get a load of massive animals and put them in a space where they are all concentrated together, and you've got loads of cattle farms and people that are on the cattle farms that are nearby that are just this ready source of food for these bats. And yeah, like, you know, they've got a bad rep because of
but what about COVID?
COVID.
Don't get her started.
If you was at
Do
home,
not
they'd be
get her
thinking that.
started.
Yeah.
COVID.
Fair enough. So COVID, again, I think this is all emerging research, but a lot of the ways that we interact with bats are very harmful for them. Sorry, let me start that sentence again. Hang on. So with COVID, a lot of the ways that we interact with bats are very unnatural, and like we're putting them into situations that they shouldn't be in. Like
I
there's
thought you were
no
going to say we're putting them into soup.
yeah, I mean, soup is a situation
Some of us are.
that no one wants to be in. But like that case, I think, is in theory it's a bat and a pangolin and a human in very close proximity, and in a situation where both of those animals were shedding virus.
So is that, there was a pangolin involved as well?
It's, in theory, it went from a bat to a pangolin and a pangolin to a human.
Wow, I didn't know that, you know.
Was it
Yeah.
pangolin
Wow.
soup?
It was exotic trade. we
Yeah,
think,
because they use
potentially.
pangolin scales for like medicine and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Shout
so-
out the pangolin, by the way. Very underrated
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah, but they're like the most traded animal, aren't they?
Yeah, and like that's the majority of zoonotic diseases, which are diseases that come from animals, through bats. Like it can be really difficult because their immune systems are mental and they they do things in a very different way, which means that they can be very dangerous when those diseases jump into humans. But usually there's something channeling that jump.
There's
It's
a
never
conduit.
yeah.
It's human use that channels the jump. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
well, almost always. Like, and it's not even necessarily straight from bats. There's very few viruses that have gone straight from bats to humans. It's always bat, horse, human, bat, camel, human.
Okay.
Like, it's always some sort of interaction that really shouldn't be happening. And
So-
they're just amazing animals, and they're so beneficial to humans as well. Like, there's a species of bat, the Mexican free-tailed bat, and we can put this in the background because there's
It's there.
like there's like they live in caves and they come out of these caves and there's like millions and millions of these bats that come out and they eat hundreds of moths, corn borer moths, and in the US it saves them. The most conservative estimate they have is like $5 billion in food, and it goes up to $105 billion in savings from this one species
Wow.
of bat. And like that's amazing. You can demonize them all you like.
No, but I mean, the fact that they're
so
here,
important.
the fact that they're here means our panel has recognised them as harmless, right? So we are
They are
actually bigging them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are.
I
bigging them up.
I went bat trapping in Borneo, and that was amazing. But there is something about going through a rainy forest at night, and you're looking in your bat traps, you're seeing the bats that you've caught, and they're just like fluttering, and you're trying to hold them, and they're so sweet and furry. They're like little
Like
dogs,
little mice
like this.
almost.
Little mice. Yeah, they're very cute, but like there's just something unnatural about holding something that's like fluttering and really soft in your hands. It's like if you touch the moth. Like that's like a really weird feeling. And I think humans, this is like the underlying theme of this in my opinion, but like humans are afraid of the unknown, and like it's not a known feeling to have like a bat fluttering in your hands. So we're just scared of things that we're not used to, and which is why exposure therapy is
also-
quite good.
They're nocturnal animals, so there's a
Yeah.
nighttime element. People can't see them as much. It's a little bit of like, you don't really know. Like, obviously, if you've got them in your hands, you can see it, you can sort of connect with it. But it's funny, there's a clip of, I think, David Attenborough somewhere, and he's like talking about the echolocation.
Big up, David. Big up,
Big up,
David.
David.
Big D.
Wow. Wow. Is that where we're at? Is that where we're at? Okay,
Davey A, we'll call it.
Davey A,
So yeah, I think there's a clip out there somewhere. I'm not sure if it actually ever made a broadcast, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about like the echolocation, how amazing it is, and like they're never going to hit into each other, and and at that point, one bat smacks him in the head. Yeah, some dodgy echolocation on that one. But yeah, there's an element of fear of the darkness. I think a lot of these animals, meat, owls, bats, dark.
But I mean, like, you'd think, you know, when we're talking about like movies making people scared, you'd think Batman would have done favors for bats by now. Do you get what I'm saying? No, for real talk.
Yeah,
why
but-
not?
Sorry, going back
Batman
1 second, I
versus-
love that you slipped owls into that. You said fear of the dark, bats and owls. It's just you. It is just you. I promise.
Alright, I'll set the owl on you next time. But what happens if you put up Dracula versus Batman? Who's winning?
What do you mean? What, in a fight?
Well, yeah,
Batman is
Batman's-
smoking
you're
Dracula.
saying-
What?
I think Dracula.
Bro, man will have Alfred
Then
make
which
up some
Dracula?
garlic gun something, and it's done.
Dracula's the undead.
Dracula can turn into a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one garlic thing, he's finished. Bro.
No. Dracula do.
And Bruce Wayne has
Money.
$1 million at his disposal.
Buy
Right?
you mini garlic.
Yeah, you can buy several garlic.
What's Spider-Man done for spiders?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Why?
done good.
What
It's
is
done
this disconnect? What is this disconnect between the superhero and the animal? That's
Although I
giving
feel
them
like
power?
Dracula would be quite like peaceful, like maybe one virgin a month, like gone. That's fine.
Jesus
Whereas
Christ.
Batman,
Draw back. What am I?
one virgin a month.
Is that the process?
That's I think so, right? Dracula, virgin, vampire. Yeah.
Is Dracula-
Batman would smoke you for parking wrong, bro.
Yeah,
Like you'd be in the
exactly.
wrong parking spot, and he'd just come in and be like, "This is a no loading zone." Fucking smoke
But
you
wait,
right
wait,
there
sorry,
and then.
sorry. Is that a thing? Dracula and virgins? Is that?
Yeah, no, I never knew that.
I never knew
Is
that. I
it?
think that's
Vampires
just
and
your
virgins?
This is
minds.
because you're dressed up as a vampire.
Wait, what eats
today,
virgins?
No
There's
one
something
eats
that
virgins,
no,
bro.
that you sacrifice a virgin. or something.
Eats virgins.
Some Finnies versions.
No, I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
bro.
know if it's specifically virgins.
Yeah.
But
Cool,
okay.
let's move on to number one.
Move on.
Let's move on to
I'll
number
fact
one.
check this later.
Yeah. So, that brings us, I'd say nicely, that brings us weirdly onto number one. Number one on the most venomous' top 10 list of animals that people should be scared of. No, that people are scared of, but shouldn't be scared of is...
Drum roll.
I'm quite happy with this one.
Drum roll.
We won't do a drum roll because Felix will hate us.
You can do a drum roll.
It's moths.
Oh, yeah.
Moths.
Mars and
It
love
is
Mars.
Oh, I love a moth.
Yeah. So, many of you that follow me on Instagram will know I coined a game, one of the best games Instagram has ever known. It's called Mock Mondays, where I just get people to send in all types of pictures that they observed of moths, and we pick the best ones. You guys that follow me voted for the best ones. I love moths, man. Love them. Fell in love with them when I moved to Essex when I was like 14, 15, and I found what I now know to be a lime hawk moth. So we'll get one up over there. Just the colours, the size, the shape, it was just absolutely beautiful. And I did have that fear of the flapping wings. Like it was weird. But I actually you have to firm it, bro.
Yeah.
In life, you have to
You
firm
have
things,
to
bro.
firm it.
Make a fist in your mind and just firm it, bro, and get over it. And then you're like, rah, it's actually quite nice. And I love moths, man. I love catching moths.
I used to be terrified of moths, and it's kind of like you were chatting about earlier. Like my mum used to catch them and throw them at me. She denies it now.
I'm so sorry.
But she denies it now. But my brother's like, no, you did that, and I remember it because it was really funny. But like, yeah, and I used to be scared of them because one flew up my nose when we were camping when I was little.
Oof.
And so again, it's the flapping, it's like the buzzing in your hand,
Yeah.
but in your nostril.
That's
Wasn't my favorite thing, but then yeah, it's just you see some like beautiful moths and you just get obsessed with them, and like now I just love them. I think they're amazing. I mean, I'd rather not have another one up my nose, but
Your mum sounds funny, by the way.
My question is why do people love butterflies and hate moths when they're pretty much exactly the same
They're
thing?
just
when
butterflies are a
it?
type of moth.
They're butterflies of the night. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
light
what-
mode
is
and
it
dark
the-
mode.
the-
That's
Yeah.
usually what it
Is
is.
it the night thing again?
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
like you say, you get dayfly moths, but why do people love butterflies?
I
and
think
hate
butterflies
moths?
aren't furry and moths are furry. If you felt like a real proper moth, it's like it sheds
I
fur.
don't think most people get close enough to a moth to even know it's furry.
You'd be surprised.
I think it's the fluttering again. I think it's the light because they're in your
Yeah.
room. They're going to the light. They're bashing against
And
it
the dull
constantly.
colours.
Dull. Oh, yeah.
Well, I
apart
mean,
from
not
his
some of the
Nadeem.
most of the ones that you see.
But then it's
100%.
again like this romanticizing of butterflies. Like, fuck a
Yeah.
butterfly, man. No, not fuck a butterfly. It's just like, it's just a butterfly. Why is this such a,
For the record, moths are more beautiful than butterflies.
They are.
They get a bad
I stand by that.
Atlas
I stand by that
moth.
as
Do you
well.
guys know about the Atlas moth? Get one up right there.
Yeah,
Big
all
one,
the Saturn
biggest
is.
one.
But it's
Biggest
got, I don't know if it's like one particular Atlas moth, but there's one that's got snake head type things on its wings. And they close and it looks like a snake's head. And the evolutionary path of that is insane.
Absolutely.
Like,
Remember in
it's
Korean
brilliant.
school, we've got a cool one in the UK called a buff tip moth. It looks
Yeah, I know the buff
exactly
tip.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
twig. Like the camouflage is insane. Like my favourite moth by far.
Is it,
But,
yeah?
Yeah, but I
Nice.
think like you said, just do it. Just hold them off. It's not hard to. If you get a light, the right kind of light, a big white sheet, put it out at night. Moths come. You go to it in the morning. You can get proper moth traps, but you don't need it. You can look on YouTube. You can do a janky DIY setup. But in the morning, they're asleep. They're nocturnal animals, so they don't move. They need to flutter and heat themselves up before they move. So you can look at these moths. You can hold them, and they're not going anywhere. And they're not going to flutter in
You
your
know the
face.
mad
And it's
thing?
easy.
So on the Spring Watch set, yeah, the day that Mel bust me and Ollie to get on there, I met Lucy Lapwing. Shout out Lucy
Yeah,
as well.
love
Good
Lucy.
friend. And she was like, "Oh, Nadeem, I've been following you on Mock Monday. Like, let's come to the fridge. I've got moths." I was like, "What?" And it's like she had all these, it sounds mad, but this is science, guys. Yeah, like she had all these moths in these little pots in the fridge. But it comes down to what you're saying. It just
Cools them
like
down.
cools
Yeah.
them down, and then
Calms
they're
them
like
down.
less liable to just fly away. You know what I'm saying? So you could get a proper good look at them. I feel like before we round up, everyone should give their favourite moth. I think we all have a knowledge enough, maybe, to pick a favourite one.
I'm going to go first and say Atlas moth so no one else says it.
Yeah?
But yeah, shout out Lepidoptera. That's the word, right? Butterflies and moths.
I love your big scientific names, don't
There you
you?
go.
So I'm full of useless shit. So I'm really good at pub quizzes.
No, that's useful. That's useful.
But lepidopterophobia is the fear of moths
There you
and
go.
butterflies. But there you are, Atlas moth.
Atlas
That's me.
moth, the biggest moth in the world as well.
Yeah,
biggest
exactly.
moth in the
Beautiful.
world.
Yeah, and there's so many like satinids, which are like that family of moths. But I think my favourite UK one has to be tiger moths.
Ooh,
They're just gorgeous.
Jersey
But
tiger.
there's so many like gorgeous in that family. I'm gonna try and find the species that I can't remember the species name, but like there's some really amazing like gorgeous pattern colours and those moths that are just
It's amazing.
What are you going for?
Oh, is it my turn? I'll say the elephant hawk moth.
Yeah.
I like the elephant
Pink
hawk
Little,
moth.
like, hummingbird bird.
Yeah, like green, the pink, like bro, the designer is doing a good job in the moth department.
I feel like calling them hummingbird hawk moths like it's kind of harsh because they invented that type of flying a long time before hummingbirds did.
Facts. And you know what? That is another thing. We're gonna have a whole episode on this. Stupid animal names. Because no, real talk. Because
Taxonomy episode. We're
yeah,
gonna do
because
that.
why
We're
is
gonna
a
do that.
vampire bat named after a human-made fictional character? That's
Not the other way
bullshit.
around.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Is human fictional character named after the vampire bat, or is it the other way around?
Look at this guy.
It's definitely
Oh,
one way. It's
definitely.
definitely one way. It's definitely.
You were saying some bullshit earlier. Like, I got to fact check you here and there.
Chantelle.
I'm gonna go with the ghost moth, which I recently discovered. I keep finding like ones outside my house, and it's like this beautifully white one, and it's got this beautiful little furry body. I just love it. It looks like a little angel.
Nice. There you go.
I'm going to stick to my buff tip. Like the mimicry on it is mad. Just looks like a twig. So cool.
Sick.
I'd love to
Sick.
blend into the background and nobody see me because then I'd never embarrass myself.
You picked the wrong podcast for that, Harry.
Hey. All right, guys. So that was our top 10 list of animals that people are scared of but shouldn't be. If you are scared of any of the animals on the list, please let us know why. And if there were any animals that you missed out, drop them in the comments. And if you're wondering about what my costume is, I'm a black man in a white country. And nothing is scarier than that. Tune in next time. This has been the most venomous. Safe.